Okay, tough question. Why do so many of my own people lash out against Israel? And more troublesome, why do some Israeli Jews promote the same poison? The dribble spewed by some left-wing Israeli publications is wretched. The hate expressed toward Jewish settlers and the unending push toward a two-state solution is despicable. And the doves in Israel's Knesset, they may be the most troubling. I'm starting to believe that Israeli liberals make themselves feel good by cuddling victimized Palestinians. You know, some radical dovish Jews in Israel are better equipped to condemn Jewish patriots and trash the Israeli Defense Forces than to speak out against the core problems of Muslim hatred. We find similar mind-numbing nonsense being voiced across the spectrum in America. In the name of tolerance, liberal Americans would share their bed with rattlesnakes to avoid being labeled intolerant. Nevertheless, I am stunned by the posturing of liberal Jewish politicians and a growing fifth column in Israel who promote never-ending land for peace failures and perpetually defend murderous enemies. I think it is the height of Jewish self-hatred. But wait, I'm a Jew. Can I say that? Is it right for anyone to bring up the subject of Jewish self-hatred? Is it any different than the liberal self-hatred expressed by some Americans? You must realize that some of our homegrown liberals will stand for anything except victory against our enemies. Why would any American doubt that freedom is powerful and our Constitution is virtuous? Our founding fathers, the things that they did, the founding documents of our nation, they inspire patriotism. Only a traitor or a fool would despise our freedom. If liberal leaders in Washington, liberal Jews anywhere, or blinded world leaders who hate Israel give victories to the enemies of the Jews, it marks the end of Israel as we know it. Victory for our enemies is the eradication of our existence. That's the sworn goal of the enemies who surround Israel and those who live within its borders. And if a two-state solution is granted, or if the land is given away, we must realize it is land that would best be used for Israel's defensible borders. Seems to me that someone should be tried for treason. Many calling for such a two-state solution in the name of peace would even rob Israel of its heartland and split the very capital city in their effort to destroy Israel's heart. As Christians, it's easy to say that we're supposed to love our enemies and turn the other cheek. I can't dispute the injunctions of Jesus, but the Jewish liberals in Israel are not following Jesus. They're not... let's face it, they're following a misguided desire to pacify their enemies when the nation of Israel would be much better served to win the war on the ground instead of mindlessly losing the war in the press. I just don't understand it. Now, to their credit, the tolerance and grace shown by some Israeli liberals toward our Palestinian enemies would be admirable if tolerance and grace were all that our enemies demanded for a lasting peace. But Islamic terrorists and Palestinian politicians within Israel, they demand more. Who really believes peace is possible if the Palestinians and much of the Arab world remain dedicated to driving the Jews into the sea? Ignoring that fact, while giving away precious Jewish land in exchange for false promises of peace, is political suicide, military ignorance, and biblical indifference. The very idea transcends the naivete of the most self-hating Jewish liberal. Yet many would split the nation if given the chance. We've already given away the West Bank and Gaza. We have no peace. I'm out of time, but before I close, I must ask 3 questions. Please call or write to me with your answers. I'm waiting for your comments. write to me at CrossTalk, P.O. Box 2528, Cedar Hill, Texas 75106, USA, or send them to my website, www.crosstalk.org. Now, these questions may seem rhetorical, but if you have a serious response, send it today. And remember, I want you to request a free subscription to the Israel Today magazine. So here I go. To those of you who are willing to give away additional portions of Jerusalem, Judea, or Samaria, I ask the following 3 questions. Besides getting a modicum of short-lived praise by those who hate us anyway, what would we really achieve that would help the Jewish people thrive and inherit the promises of God? Think about it. Number 2, besides making it easier for our enemies to organize their military units and lob rockets into our cities, what would we really gain by dismantling more Jewish settlements? And third, besides brief praise and a few short-lived headlines honoring Israel for succumbing to peace, what would we gain by another unilateral reduction of our geography? Now please, just don't even bother answering how it will help our enemies destroy my people or subjugate more of their own people. They already oppress everyone under their control. I prefer to let our enemies figure out their plans without the help of the free world. And in conclusion, I guess it must also be asked, what will be left to give in exchange next for peace? You know, it's got to be realized that more is not enough when everything is what our enemies are after. The terrorist Yasser Arafat was given a Nobel Peace Prize, but is there peace? Maybe a posthumous Nobel Prize would be given to the dead Jews of Israel after we become a mere footnote on the future maps of the victorious Arab world. But I do not think so. The United Nations and most of the world would quietly rejoice at our demise. And at this juncture, I wonder if America might even attend the celebration. Who knows? I'm even sorry to say that, but it's a deep concern I have in my heart. And as I say shalom to you, I ask an even bigger question to my own people. Does Jewish tolerance come at too high a price? I think it might. Perhaps we should let the rest of the world corner the market on tolerance. They already hate the Jews. You know, tolerance is the new commodity to be traded on the open market of liberalism. Tolerance is the new currency of love. Tolerance, even at the price of self-preservation, is what the New World Order expects. Tolerance is the new standard by which behavior is judged. Somehow you got to get this. Tolerance is certainly what a one-world government would demand, unless the request is from a Jewish settler in Israel or a follower of Jesus almost anywhere. Maybe that is why I think tolerance is overrated. I'm convinced that neither the fundamental principles of radical Islam nor the charter of the Palestinian people, their leadership, can permit peace with Israel or Jews to live in freedom. Who are these terrorists that presume to define tolerance? No one who straps bombs to their children in their effort to spread death and destruction have the right to discuss tolerance. And the liberals who defend such actions are not qualified to identify the characteristics they so cherish. An overwhelming victory was granted to the terrorist Yasser Arafat. Do you realize he won 99% of what he wanted in the failed Oslo peace accords? But he walked away in defeat because he could not accept peace under any agreement with Israel. Abba Eban, referring to an earlier failed attempt at peace, once famously said, "The Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity." I believe I know the reason why this is true. But before I tell you, please do not miss your opportunity to learn more about Israel from the perspective of Jewish believers who inhabit the land. My dear friend, Aviel Schneider, is the senior editor of a magazine called Israel Today. I want to give you a free subscription to my friend's magazine. Call 1-800-688-3422. You can write to me, CrossTalk, P.O. Box 2528, Cedar Hill, Texas 75106, USA. Or send me your request through the website, www.crosstalk.org. Again, from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada, call toll-free 800-688-3422. Now, as I say shalom to you, be aware I am offering peace and a salutation. But as I leave, I will tell you why I believe that when it comes to peace, the Palestinians will continue never missing an opportunity to miss an opportunity. There's only one real reason. It is because they are intolerant and they do not want peace. The militant leaders who rule the Palestinians want to erase Jews and Judaism from the entire Middle East, where they believe Islam should dominate without a trace of infidel influence. May their prayers never be answered until they call upon the Prince of Peace, who alone will bring forgiveness and freedom to all who bend the knee and declare the lordship of the God of Israel over every soul who finds peace in the Messiah. His name is Jesus. And my name is Randy Weiss. Next time here at CrossTalk, I'll conclude my comments about liberal Jewish self-hatred. Changing the odds. That's what it's about. Changing the odds in a house divided. And I believe I will finally be able to explain an obscure word of prophecy from Ezekiel. Till then, shalom and God bless you.
Because he loves me, I will follow him. Because he loves me, I will follow him. Because he loves me, because he loves me, because he loves me, I will follow him. Because he loves me, I will